Hello and welcome to the RotoWire Esports Show. My name is Ethan Sexton, and here with me, as always, DFS Chan. Chan, how are you today?
Good, man. Invictus Gaming might be the most confusing team in the LPL still.
Yeah. So obviously today only a 2-game slate, but the big news there was IG getting beat by Rogue Warriors just days after they beat FPX. So yeah, the most confusing team in the league gets even more confusing, man. But we say it all the time. I mean, when you expect them to win, they lose, and when you expect them to lose, that's when they beat good teams. So there's no real rhyme or reason to this team at all, is there? I mean, the most frustrating thing about today was when they traded their Nexus for the Baron. So that was a pretty bad trade in game 2, and then they absolutely got smashed in game 3. What do we make of this team, man? They're so frustrating for DFS purposes, especially.
Yeah, I mean, I think just from the team standpoint, there's just so many issues. Like you said, I mean, that one play in game 2 lost them the game. I just feel like that kind of comes from the communication issues, but also maybe they don't really have a good shot caller. And if there were a shot caller, maybe that shot caller needs to be changed. Because then he definitely teleported to Baron and they just cost that game. But yeah, I mean, I feel like for DFS purposes, I don't know. I mean, when they score well, when they lose, I guess today they scored well as well. It's just, I mean, regardless of the outcome of the games for DFS purposes, I think, I mean, they did pretty well. It's just, it's difficult to kind of, measure that because, I mean, they tend to score well when they win. So you just have to guess when they're going to win. But like you said, I mean, when they're the underdog, I guess, that's when you should take a shot with them. But yeah, I mean, this morning they were the Vegas odds. I think they were minus 1,000 over Rogue Warriors. So who knows?
Yeah, it was pretty bad, man. What'd you make of Rogue Warriors' new lineup today? They bring in ZDZ and Zhao Hao for top lane in the jungle. Did you think it was a major improvement at all, or do you think they're still going to be a pretty bad team overall?
I thought they were pretty bad still. I think it was more of an IG being bad, playing down to Rogue Warriors level today. So I'm not too impressed with ZDZ or Xiao Hao. I think Xiao Hao showed some improvements, but then I thought Ice Coke was perfectly doing fine. So yeah. I mean, I don't think top or jungle was an issue for me, at least for Rogue Warriors. So I mean, I think just overall as a team, they didn't really seem that much better. I think it was more of an IG issue in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm a little surprised if they were going to change junglers, they didn't bring Haro back. But I'm wondering if, like, in their minds, they know what Haro is, right? So why not give some of these younger guys a chance to play? Maybe they have a little bit more upside, but it hasn't seemed that way, at least after one series with Zhao Hao. So we'll have to see what they do moving forward, I guess. But at least we get the lineups in China, so that'll be nice. The other series, JDG came from a game down to reverse sweep Rare Atom. What'd you make of this series? It was a little bit low scoring overall, kind of the Rare Atom way to be low scoring, but JDG able to bounce back from a rough game 1.
Yeah, I mean, I just really don't know what to make of this game or of both teams. I think Rare Atom had a fine series still. I think JDG kind of pulled through at the end in game 2 and 3. I think JDG really went back to their comfort picks in game 2 from the last meta, like playing Graves in the jungle and then Ornn at the top lane. I mean, those are 2 staple champions from the last spring split meta.
Yep.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. They just went back to their old days, and even though those are not really strong champions right now, I think it helped them to play better as a team together in game 2 and game 3. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I was not impressed with either team in that game. So I think Rare Atom kind of, like you said, their tendency to play slow kind of backfired against them. I think JDG had better team fights later in the game 3, over Rare Atom, and kind of had a pick or two around, I think it was Dragon. And that kind of gave them the edge there. So, yeah, I mean, I think JDG's on the bounce back, on the upward projection. But I think Rare Atom, I think this was just like a letdown series. So I'm not too worried about them, but they still look pretty good. I don't think they're like as good as as elite as like EDG or FPX or top teams who have a higher ceiling. I think Rare Atoms really like has met their ceiling in my opinion at this time. So
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. I think they're just still gonna make the playoffs, but I'm not too thrilled about taking them like for DFS purposes or anything like that. So
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they're just a solid team. They lack the upside of some of the truly elite teams in China. And like you said, they basically just are what they are. They're going to be a playoff team, but they probably don't advance too far in the playoffs, just like they have pretty much done for years, whether it's Rare Atom or whether it's Vici.
Right.
Chan, before we jump over to tomorrow's matchups, I just wanted to bring this up. So we had talked last time we were on the stream about Damwon bringing in a new AD carry and him potentially playing. I believe that was for Sunday slate we were talking about. But I found out after we recorded that lineup changes for Korea as far as bringing players up can't happen until this upcoming week. So that's why he didn't play. Obviously, we didn't talk about Sunday slate because we didn't get together yesterday. But Damwon with the big sweep over Gen G. But that's why Ghost played. And I assume after that, Ghost will continue to play. But I did just want to bring that up because there was some news about DRX have switched out their bottom lane. I mean, we don't need to worry about that until, the LCK comes back later in the week. But I just wanted to bring that up for everybody, that this is the week where Academy players can start playing in Korea. Just wanted to mention it. That's all. But let's jump over to tomorrow's 2-gamer in China. Kind of interesting in some ways. So we've got the first matchup is kind of, one of the toilet bowl matchups here. It is the 16th versus the 17th place team in the standings with Ultra Prime taking on V5. V5 bring back PZX for this matchup instead of Jug God from over the weekend. I don't think it matters. I mean, both these teams are bad, but I think V5 is just on a whole nother level of bad compared to every other team in the league. Not sure if you agree with that or not.
I do. I mean, V5, they're just like constantly just changing out, their rosters. And I know, let's see, that their jungler even too. Like, I think Jungle God or JGG God had started at jungle for V5. And now PZX is back in. So, I mean, they must have not liked how they looked with those new, starters in the last series. So, yeah, I mean, here, I think they're just going back to their old roster with allies, I guess, at top now. So I don't know. I mean, I just cannot make anything out of the new rosters. I've seen all these players now have played, but I mean, none of them really impressed me in any fashion. Right. So, and then on the other side of that matchup, I mean, Ultra Prime, yeah, I mean, they actually show decent, and they had a decent showing in a couple of spots against, pretty good teams throughout the split. So I really like Ultra Prime in this spot. Again, I think Victory 5, it might be first of all, it might be the worst team in the LPL, but also just most volatile team in terms of like roster, like consistency. So I mean, that obviously hurts the team and hurts the gameplay, with synergy issues and communication issues, and it's hard. I mean, when you constantly swap out one or two players every game, I mean, that's just really hard for the other players that are playing. So I like Ultra Prime in this spot, and I really like this game, like you said, as a toilet bowl game where it's going to produce a lot of kills. I know OMG in the other LPL matchup has a lot of kill upside too, but they're playing against EDG, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, I like this Ultra Prime Victory 5 matchup as the long stack potentially for kill upside.
Yep, I was just going to bring that up. It seems like this matchup is definitely the one to target for your long stack, just because, we've seen it in these bottom dweller versus bottom dweller matchups in the past that they can get out of hand pretty quick. In Victory 5, they like to throw bodies sometimes, right? And just give up a lot of kills. So I think I agree with that. I think it's probably an Ultra Prime sweep, honestly. Like, I don't love Ultra Prime. They're the second worst team in the league, but it just feels like Victory 5 are just on a whole nother level of bad.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ultra Prime should definitely dominate. In terms of just like based on stats and based on the roster at the moment. But then, like you said, Ultra Prime hasn't really had, consistently good showing either. So maybe, I mean, like on a 2 game slate or 14 amongst 4 teams. I mean, any team is in play, and obviously, like Ultra Prime not being a good team, I mean that opens the door for Victory 5 to get their first win here. So we'll see, but I like Ultra Prime, just like you said, Ethan. So I probably will go heavy on Ultra Prime tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I think Victory 5, the only reason to play them is for the leverage. They're going to be the lowest owned team, but I don't expect much out of them. So I'm glad we agree there. Moving into the second series this is a sneaky good one, right? Because, if we looked at this coming into the year, we would have been like, well, EDG are just going to stomp OMG. But OMG hanging in there, man. They're fifth place in the league. Slowed down a little bit lately, but they're still performing pretty well. EDG top of the standings, 7-1. What do you think about this one, Chan? We kind of alluded that we think this will be the slower of the two series. Do you see an OMG upset here, or do you think EDG are just too good?
Yeah, this is a tough one, and also because EDG just comes off of a very bad series loss against Top Esports. I mean, I think I picked EDG, at least I picked EDG to win that matchup against Top Esports, and they got demolished by, Top. So I think EDG will come out firing here. But then OMG hasn't been bad themselves either. I mean, I feel like just looking at the matchup here, individual matchup, I mean, I feel like the strongest champion players for EDG have been, let's say, like Flandre, JJ. I know Scout has been kind of underwhelming, and Viper. I mean, they've been all playing well, and I feel like OMG strengths are also a key and able. And I actually think Cream might be able to, go up but well against Scout in that mid lane. So I think it's going to be a close matchup. I think a lot of people will go to EDG. Just based on the odds and based on, their name recognition and, just OMG historically being bad.
Right.
So, yeah, but if I were to make a prediction, I think I'm still going to go with EDG. I think EDG, after that loss, like I said, against Top Esports, even though, I mean, I feel like EDG didn't really have that poor showing against Top Esports. I think Top played really well in that series.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. But I think EDG will come back, and I mean, it's not like they were on the downhill or anything like that. So I think EDG will bounce back here and beat OMG here, and I think they'll show up. So, but yeah, I mean, I love EDG's Viper in this spot. I think every time Viper goes up against good AD carries, he tend to play well. So I like EDG here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think EDG should win this series. Just like I agreed with you that I thought they would beat Top Esports. But I did play Top Esports in that matchup just because I liked it from a DFS angle. And I might do the same tomorrow. I might play OMG and just try to get a little bit of leverage with OMG just because, they've been playing pretty well. And go like a OMG Ultra Prime lineup. But I think you can play both sides of this matchup, whereas I really think the only reason to play Victory 5 is for the leverage. But I do overall, I agree with you. I think this is EDG's series to lose. I think it's probably just a little bit too high of a mountain to climb for OMG, despite the fact that they've been playing well. They might see some regression here from their early game success as well. So I do think EDG end up winning that series. But it could be a close series, so worth playing both sides, I think, if you're making multiple lineups.
Yeah, and OMG, they tend to score well. So if you think OMG will win, and if you're in the lineup with OMG stack, I mean, OMG is a worth of a long stack consideration because they tend to play really fast. If you think the game's going to be dictated by OMG's pace and a lot of team fights, then OMG is I think will be a good long stack consideration. And for them, like I said, a key Cream and Able. I mean, they've been really, really good. I know Cream going against Scout, like I said, I'm repeating myself, but I like that matchup for Cream. So maybe he's the DFS, for DFS purposes, a player to target there.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that. He's definitely been their they're arguably their best player, him or Abel, but I think Cream has been the one who really put a shot of adrenaline into this lineup and made it something a little better. So yeah, I mean, 2-gamer, kind of a bummer, but not a bad 2-gamer because there's at least some options there. But Chan, anything else you wanted to bring up for today before we jump off?
No, I think that's it. I think the EDG OMG matchup will be a very interesting one, but those two bad teams going against each other in that other matchup, I think will just be a shit show. So I think it's gonna be like a lot of 20 to 25 kills game. Maybe going to the to the end of each game and very tight game against each other. So yeah, I think I like that other matchup for the kill upside purposes.
Yep, I agree with you totally. So kind of where we're at for tomorrow's slate. Chan, it's good to talk to you again, of course. Good luck to everybody tomorrow. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free to leave them on the video and we'll check them out. If you want to check out RotoWire, you can go to rotowire.com/try. There's a link down below. Free 10-day trial, no credit card required. And once you're there, rotowire.com/chat. You can join the subscriber Discord where Chan and I are always hanging out, chatting, answering questions, whatever we need to do. So, Chan, good luck to you tomorrow, and I'll talk to you next time.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Ethan.